What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Chris Gunther Show. Thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure that you like and share this video. I would greatly appreciate it. I am beyond honored to be talking to a legend for the culture. Without any further ado, the Chris Gunther Show welcomes Leon. Mr. Leon, how you doing, sir?
I'm very good. Thank you. It's good to be here. Good to have you. All that good stuff.
I'm just glad that we finally got a chance to, to chop it up. I've been working on this for a while, so thank you again for your time.
It's so funny. Everyone keeps saying that all the time. They're like, "Man, I've been working to get this interview with you." I'm like, I guess my publicist must be a little tough, huh?
But she doing her job too, though, man. So shout out to the publicist one time for the one time.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
yeah, so let's get right into it. What are some of the projects that you currently have working on?
Wow, what am I doing right now? I'm reoccurring on a few TV shows right now. Games people play on BET, A Love Tale on BET Plus, and City on a Hill on Showtime.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Actually, I have been following games people play on BET because I was on a press conference with them and they had sent us a couple screeners. And I had noticed that you play the father of one of the basketball players on there. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good to be able to play the lead character's father, because I think it's a chance for us to show a father-son relationship amongst adults, and something we don't see a lot of, to see that love between a father and his son, even though the son is adult and doing his own thing. Just because we become adults doesn't mean that we don't need our parents' love, and sometimes we need that hard love still. And I gave him that hard love.
You sure did.
So,
man, like as I was watching, I had a flashbacks to me and my dad. I'm like, man, this bring back memories, man. That's still that's still pretty great though. You are, like I said, a legend for the culture. What made you want to start acting?
Well, when I was young, I put on a rock and roll revival when I was like in seventh grade, eighth grade, and then I went to all boys prep academy, so they didn't have a drama department, so I just excelled in athletics. And then graduate film student. Excuse me a second. No COVID. Anyway,
thank God.
But anyway, yeah, I just excelled in athletics and went to Loyola Marymount in Los Angeles on a basketball scholarship, and a graduate film student discovered me, begged me to be in his movie. I tried it, felt comfortable, changed my major, became a drama major, studied my craft, did theater. Now I'm talking to you, so I guess I made it.
Nah, I guess I made it. I'm talking to you. You the one that's the OG. I'm trying to get to where you at, man. But it's always great to, talk to people of your caliber. You've had such an iconic career. What was your first big role that people started to recognize you as?
Wow, my first role, people started to recognize me. I don't really know. I mean, when you say people, you mean people in the industry or people on the street?
A little bit of both.
Oh, I'd done studio movies. My first 3 or 4 movies were studio movies, and I was definitely getting noticed in the business. But I guess, when I got the world found out who Leon was, is when I did Like a Prayer with Madonna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just about to hit on that. How did you land that? Like, how did that come about for you?
My agent got a call, said they were interested in meeting me for this video of Madonna. I wasn't interested, so I passed. And then came back and they asked me, and I was like, I just didn't. I was a serious actor. At least I consider myself a serious actor. So I didn't understand, music videos at that time. I'm like, well, what do they want me to do? Dancing around in a video of Madonna? Like, I don't think that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And my agent said, listen, meet Mary Lambert. She's a feature film director. Just see what she's talking about. Maybe something to happen. If not this, something else, whatever. So that's how I went into it. And she described, the video to me. And I realized what they wanted was an actor. They wanted someone that could act. And I was like, oh, okay. I could do this.
It's like you got the best of both worlds there.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that actually is pretty dope. So from there you go on to do a ton of great movies. Now, a movie that is iconic in our culture is Above the Rim. And I'm a huge basketball fan, so there's no way that I can have you on here without hitting on that. Earlier in this interview, you had mentioned about a basketball scholarship, so you actually had some game.
Oh yeah, if you know basketball, you can tell whether someone got game. You don't need to play against them. You can tell from just watching somebody if they got game. So you couldn't tell I got game from watching me Above the Rim. You don't know basketball.
I was looking at it. I'm like you were coming off those screens, hitting the elbow shots and the 3-pointers and then dunking. I'm like, wait, so he could actually play for real, like you could tell.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was the second leading scorer in New York City when I was in high school.
What was it like playing ball in New York, which a lot of people consider the mecca of basketball?
It's great. You're a schoolyard player. You're going from tournament to tournament. You're going from the EBC, you're going to Rucker, you're going to Whitney M. Young, Dykeman, you just running, I played for Riverside Church Hawks, so AAU team. So we were just, you just hooping in the heat, go to McDonald's, get a shake, go to the next game. It was like, you're just hooping. And then in New York, the high school competition just fierce. And a lot of great teams, a lot of great players. And, it was great. It was great.
Did you have aspirations of going to the NBA?
Not really. I think that when you're in high school, maybe, but, I learned that, when I got to college, and my interest started, to be the arts and things, I realized that I wasn't single-minded enough to go to that level. I think that when you make it to that highest level, you need to be single-minded.
Right.
You need to be a baller, period. Okay. Like that's it. You ain't acting, you ain't doing plays, you ain't doing all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Why you balling? You balling. Okay. And I wasn't single minded like that. I was always into other things. I was into the arts, I was into fashion, I was into all kind of stuff.
I was doing a little bit of research about, guys that were on the film of Above the Rim, and Dwayne Martin actually made it to the last round of cuts, I believe, with the New York Knicks. So he could actually play ball as well.
Oh yeah, Dwayne was a great, really good ball player. Everybody in that movie was a hooper for real. Those are all the top street ball players, Speedy, all of them.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I always say it's the best b-ball movie, because how real the ball was and how good the acting was. Because you've had movies where you've had pros in there, but
they're professionals. This is what they actually do.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying is that, and what they're not professionalized acting.
Now that is very true. And as I was looking at it, my favorite scene from the movie is when you guys were in the park and you had that last game, and then you lobbed it up to Dwayne and dunked it. If you could give me your favorite, I guess, scene from the movie, or like one of your favorite memories from set, what would that be?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say that, to pick out one particular thing in the movie that was my favorite over the other. It was an interesting role for me because I did so much work internally. A lot of the stuff you saw was in my eyes. Shep didn't talk a lot.
Sure didn't.
But yet he was the hero of the movie, and so I had to like let you see what was going on inside of me and see the trouble that was troubling me inside. And I had to do a lot of it with my eyes and my expressions. And it was a good role for that.
I do agree. It's one of the best basketball movies. And, you are the person that was able to bring that to life. You've done a lot of great things in your career, such as portraying Little Richard, but of course, portraying the iconic David Ruffin. When you take a look at the career that you've had and you have, portrayed so many iconic people, how blessed does that make you feel to know that you were able to do such a wonderful job?
Yeah, I feel blessed anytime I get a chance to one, do that. And then even more importantly, anytime I get a chance to, you know, affect how people feel and take them on a journey in the story. You know, every time you make a movie or TV show, you don't know how many people are going to see it. You don't know if people are going to be affected by your performance. And so when I do, and it lives in their hearts and minds for years and years after I made it, that's all I could ever hope for. You know, is to do memorable work. That's all I want to do is memorable work. I want to do work that hopefully, you know, was here past my time. You know, and when I'm dead and gone, there's somebody still talking about Leon played this role or that role or whatever.
And it's been a long time since the Temptations movie came out. And there's no way I can have you on here without asking this. Does it get annoying every time somebody comes up to you and asks you, can you recite the line? Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis?
Yeah. I mean, it can be annoying if I allow it to be, but you know what? I take it as a compliment because I know that's exactly what it is for them. You know, people. The one thing people don't realize lots of times, and something you have to learn, is that you have to really be respectful of your fans, because yes, they may not always act right when they see you. Okay, that's because they're just not used to seeing, you know, someone like you or someone that they love like you. You know, their performance or someone that, you know, that basically has been in their living room for the last couple of decades.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then here you are in person. And sometimes they don't always act right, especially if they're not from a metropolitan city where they're used to seeing someone. I mean, I've had people in, you know, in other parts of the country be like, anybody ever tell you look like Leon? And I'll be like, you know, and I'll be like, yeah, I am Leon. No, you're not. You're not Leon. Get out of here. Like, now how you gonna tell somebody that they not who they are?
Right.
You know, but see, the thing is you have to realize is that lots of times, you know, people just aren't used to seeing the people they see in the movies and that they love, or, you know, or they a role that's really like in their hearts and stuff. And so I try to always be respectful, and, you know, and sometimes I have to teach them, you know, because they'll do something, you know, that's inappropriate, you know, like I'll turn around and in mid French fry my mouth, see that someone's been videotaping me the whole time. Like, really?
Yeah, that's kind of
really,
weird.
I mean, well, it's weird and it's unnecessary with me because I'm friendly. You know, if you want a picture with me or something, I'll say, yeah. So when I finish eating, I'll come over and do it. You know, it's like, just ask. You know, and the crazy thing is, what I have to do is you have to educate people sometimes, because you just have to turn the tables on them.
Mm-hmm.
Just say, hey, imagine if I was videotaping you and you saw me videotaping you while you was over there with your friends. We'd be fighting.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I mean, and the thing is, I think what people have to realize as actors is that, for me at least, I can't speak for everybody else, I just want to be treated regular.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be treated, just give me the same respect, you know, that you want to have me give you, and we always be cool.
Respect is the number one thing that we all should have. And, you know, I'm just so honored to be taking this time out to be talking to you, but you're really taking the time out to talk to me. And, you know, before we jump out of this part, I was doing a little bit of research and I found out that you originally were going to audition for Otis Williams, like that role. So that was originally what you were going to do?
No, I wasn't going to audition. Otis Williams, who, you know, was based on his book, wanted me to play him. He requested me years ago. After the 5 Heartbeats, something, he said there was a book coming out. They were going to make a movie. And when it does, I want you to play me, Leon. And I was like, cool, yeah, that'd be an honor, you know? And so when the movie came around, I just had a meeting with the producers. And, you know, they said, listen, we are aware that Otis wants you to play him in this movie. And we're willing to offer it to you if that's what you want to do. We just wanted to know, before we move further, what role do you think you should play? And when they asked me that question,
mm-hmm.
I said, well, it would be an honor to play with this, but I think I'd best serve this film if I played the role of David Ruffin. And they just They were elated. They would say, "Man, we didn't know who would play David if you didn't play it." So that's how that happened.
And if you go back and listen to your vocals, because you actually were singing, this role required actual singing. And if you go back,
but in most of the scenes, unless you see me singing like in the middle of a scene, like in that scene with Ain't Nobody Come to See You, Otis, or like that, that's usually David Ruffin's remastered voice. Yeah, because that's one of the selling points of doing movies like by Motown Stars, whatever. You get to see the you get to hear the remastered tracks of the original artist. And let's face it, I'm a singer.
All the way.
I have my band and everything else, but I or nobody else sings like David Ruffin.
Now you telling the truth. David,
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
He wasn't just a great singer, he was a unique singer. His voice, his vocal style, everything about him was just, uniquely him.
It was. And The Temptations, one of the greatest, like, many movies of all time. The Five Heartbeats, a lot of people thought that was based off of a actual group, and then they find out it wasn't a group. It was just based off of how things were back then. And then you will go on to portray the iconic Little Richard. Did you ever get a chance to meet any of the people that you were portraying outside of the late great David Ruffin?
Yeah, I met Little Richard before I even, I met with him before I even did the movie. And then he also, came by the set as well. So
did he give you any pointers on how it was to play him, or not at all?
No. He was very impressed at how I played his friend David Ruffin. He trusted me. Yeah.
Man, just to look at everything that you have been able to do, you've done so much in your career, and people will see you and they see you as an actor, but you are also a singer, and you are the lead singer of your group Leon and the Peoples. What made you guys want to start creating music together?
I was in this group called the Young Lions, which is all these great musicians that play with Bruce Springsteen, Sting, Steel Pulse, UB40. And we started making some headway in the city, New York City. And
yes, sir.
We were doing cover songs, and I wanted to do original music. So I formed my band, The Peoples. And then after a while, I had to pull a David Ruffin on them to become because we got better shows, because no one knew who the hell the Peoples were, but they knew who Leon was. So it kind of worked out that way.
Did any of your bandmates feel like, you were actually slowly becoming David Ruffin to them at all?
No. It's not like that. Not at all.
Yeah, like I figure I would just ask, because you know how sometimes lead singers, they tend to do a little bit too much, and they start to make their bandmates and co-workers feel as if they are beneath them. So I just wanted to, ask that one time for the one time.
No. I mean, you have to realize I'm not like David Ruffin, who was a lead singer that was hired. It's my band. I created the band. So
how much fun is it to know that you created this band and to see the success that it's had?
It's great, but there's so much to do. It's what a lot of people don't realize. People who aren't in the business, and you tell them what you do, and they realize what you do, and they're always, oh wow, that's cool, that's great. Like, it's a lot of hard work, man. When in a band, if you go on tour, it's like you're on a tour bus, you're from hotel to hotel, you're driving cars, cities, whatever. The sound check, and then for anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes is the fun part, where you hit the stage. Then after that, you sometimes leaving to go to the next city. It's just work. It's work. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to love it, to do it, because you're not this glamorous thing. And, you sit around and, you're not a movie star 24 hours a day. You're not a singer 24 hours a day. You got to get to where you're going. You got to, there's a lot of things. You have sound check, you got to record music, you have bandmates that, that may not be acting right. It's a lot of stuff you got to do, and so, and that's all of that is to say that it takes a lot of work to bring what you bring to the people. And I think people just see the finished product. Just like, the Temptations or the Five Heartbeats or Little Richard. Well, now I'm in a dance studio, in a rehearsal studio, 5-6 days a week for 6-7 weeks before I ever film one thing.
Because you got to make sure that the moves are right, the timing is right, and you got to bring it all to life as well.
Yeah, I mean, those performances, the one thing about film, unlike a play or theater, is that you do it one time.
Right.
It's that one time you see it, and you got to make it memorable. And I come out as, if I come out and do, Little Richard and his performance and, and like, you got to say, yo, that's the Richard. He's killing that shit. Well, that, that's weeks of rehearsal. I don't just walk on and just go take a song and just do that. I mean, I've been working on that. And same thing with the Temptations. Temptations are known as much for their songs as their precise movements. Their dance steps. So we're in there. We got to become a band, a group, and and we got to look like one. We got to represent the Temptations the way they did it. And it's like, so yeah. It's a lot of work goes into all of that.
When you're not in the studio and on the road or, getting ready to go portray somebody, when you're not doing that, what are some of the things that you enjoy doing?
Wow. I love playing tennis. Tennis is my love now, not basketball. I love art. I love going to see art, love creating art. I love, taking care of people in my life, my friendships, and enjoying that. And I enjoy traveling.
Nothing wrong with it, but you definitely want to be careful right now, traveling with all this craziness going on and COVID and numbers continuing to rise. How are you able to, still be safe even in all of the crazy times that we're living in?
Well, my business is pretty strict. When I'm on a TV show, whatever, they're testing me 3 times a week. Testing me to go to a screening. So yeah, and so you just have to be careful. I mean, I can't allow myself to get it, because at least not when I'm in a production, because the whole production can go down. And that's so you have that responsibility. And then as far as traveling is concerned, traveling, at first was that way, but I mean, planes are pretty safe. And what's nice is to be able to travel to places where you can be a little bit COVID free, whether it be any tropical place, where you're outdoors all the time. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go indoors to do anything for the most part, except go to your room, and so, going to climates like that, it allows you to, escape a little bit of the madness that you have to deal with, living in the city and dealing with this pandemic. But, like so many people, I'm tired of it.
Me too. I will be all the way happy when this is over with, when all of this craziness is done. And last few couple questions here for you. What advice would you give to any of the young actors that want to follow in your footsteps, actors or actresses?
I would say only do it if it's the only thing you want to do in the whole world, because you're going to have to endure a lot of rejection. I tell people this when I speak to acting classes or colleges. I said, if they say no to you 9 out of 10 times, you're very successful. So just remember, you're coming into a business where you probably, people are going to say no to you almost all the time. Okay. And so you got to be ready for that. You got to be strong, and you got to want it more than anything else to stay in there. I mean, how many actors I've acted with early on in my career, how many people I've been in acting class with over the course of my life that, selling stocks, doing this, they're not acting, because it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to be successful. It's not easy to stay current. It's not easy for people to, continue to want to see you. year after year, decade after decade, you know. So yeah, I say, be very careful. This is, you just want to be famous, do something crazy on Instagram if you want to be an actor and have a career. You gotta roll up your sleeves, man, and get good, and continue to get good.
I love that. And it's like I was enjoying that because I'm a person, even though I'm not an actor, I know I'm up and coming in the space that I'm in. So anytime I hear somebody of your caliber tell you if you're getting rejected 9 out of 10 times, you're successful. So I appreciate that. Definitely coming to the end now. Last two questions that I always ask my guests. Number one, who would you like to see on the Chris Gunther show? And if you have any connect, can you help me out? Brothers got to shoot their shot. Now, brothers like me, we shoot the shots.
Who would I like to see on your show?
Yes,
other
sir.
Than myself.
Other than the legendary Leon. Other than the legendary Leon.
Well, let me tell you something. To be perfectly honest with you, right? I'd have to know your format and the interview and the type of people you want to interview before I would suggest somebody.
Well, the format is like how you and I were just having an amazing conversation, taking a trip down memory lane, and you're spitting some real hardcore facts and some knowledge while also inspiring people. So that's the kind of format of this show.
Well, you know who I would suggest that you interview? Who's a very good brother, very good friend, very successful, is my Five Heartbeats brother, Harry Lennox.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I think he's a very good interviewer. He's very smart, very intelligent, and I think he'd make a great interview for you.
I appreciate that. Before we get out of here, if anybody wanted to connect with you or learn more about you or follow you on social media, how can they do that?
Well, you can follow me on social media, on Instagram, which is at www.justleon. That's 3 W's, JUSTLEON. Very active on Instagram, or on Facebook, which is Leon, and Twitter, same thing. And usually Instagram is probably the format that I'm busiest on. And you can buy my band's music, Leon and the Peoples, any way you buy music. Apple Music, we have our own station on Spotify, Pandora. Anyway you look, our latest album is called Love is a Beautiful Thing. And yeah, and just, keep watching me, on the screen. I have a movie coming out in theaters March 3rd called A Day to Die, an action film with Bruce Willis and Frank Grillo. Yeah, just Leon, being Leon.
Well, I love it. Nothing else needs to be asked, ladies and gentlemen. Leon on the Chris Gunther Show. Thank you so much for your time. Thank y'all for watching. See y'all next time.
Thank you, man. Take care, brother.